I just put mine in the generator.
Think we're going? I think so. All right. Pues hola clase, bienvenido, welcome back. ¿Cómo están? Muy bien. Alegre. Cansada. Y a mí también. Estoy cansado hoy. ¿Qué hicieron con tu semana libre? ¿Qué hicieron? So what did y'all do con tu semana libre? I think we talked about what a semana libre is. What is it?
What'd you do on your week off?
Yeah, what'd you do with your free week?
It wasn't free. We still had to.
Okay, con tus 2 días libres, right? Two free days, 2 snow days. ¿Qué hicieron el jueves y el viernes? ¿Algo interesante? Oh, shoot, yeah, there's just me. Hey. Yeah,
I looked
whatever.
up and I was like, oh.
Yeah, no, so what did y'all do with your extra 2 days? ¿Qué hicieron? Elijah, ¿qué hiciste el jueves y el viernes? ¿Jugaste videojuegos? Muy bien. ¿Qué videojuego es tu favorito? Fallout 76. Qué bien, ok. Solo he jugado Fallout 4, pero está bien, sí. Dora, ¿qué hiciste con tus días libres? ¿Nada? ¿No hiciste nada? Oh, está bien, sí. Oh, muy bien. Okay, vamos a Pixton, see, and Google Classroom. So I have a little bit of a story. See, as it's a story about me doing something. And I want you guys just 3 panels, really quickly. I'm going to set a timer for about 7 minutes. Make it pretty quickly. It doesn't have to be a total professional work of art. I just want to see if you guys can represent like what's happening in this story in comic form. So it uses some of that vocab from last week, and it's also kind of showing what we're going to get into today with the few little highlighted ahs in there. So go ahead and head to Pixton. Go ahead and try to make just 3 panels, right? So 3 little squares, just like encapsulate, the gist of it, the basic understanding of what's happening in the story, whether it's action or whatever else. I'll be circulating around if you guys have any questions on words. Is it freezing or something?
Yeah.
Oh no. Is it like the internet across the whole school, or is it just that website? Yeah.
Maybe it's just because we've been
Yeah.
out for so long.
Yeah, it's just like you verify it's you.
Let's see if that's the right one. Let's do that right now. Those are the other passwords.
Okay, interesante.
It did this one time before. Like it wouldn't. I knew it was the right password. It wouldn't let me in for some reason. I wondered if let me just try opening it into a brand new one. Yeah, I'll just reset the password.
I know. Well, it's different.
I can always just put the Google Doc up there and then let them just like kind of make their own version of it. Like,
Yeah, if you wanted to, yeah.
And then we can figure this out after.
Yeah,
that.
one time before it did this to me. Let me, I'll see if I can't try to reset the password one more time back here.
Qué interesante. Okay, vamos, clase, vamos. Feel free to make a new do now for this week, a do now document, and then whatever you've got so far on the Pixton, you can download it and then go ahead and submit that into Monday, right? Into the Monday box. Whether it's just like one box or whether you've got all three, está bien. We will go ahead and go through here and let's talk about what's going on in the story. So, ¿qué hice? ¿Qué hice? What did I do? ¿Qué hice? ¿Qué hice primero? So what did I do first? Because the el cuento es sobre yo, right? Sobre mí. It's about me. So ¿qué hice primero?
Did you go to your older sister's house?
Sí, yo visité, right? Señor Williams visitó. So I visited, right? I visited my older sister's house. ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde fui? Where did I go? ¿Dónde fui? fui a una ciudad al norte, ¿sí? Es el capital de Indiana. ¿En qué ciudad estamos? Abigail, ¿en qué ciudad estamos? Sí, gracias, en Indianapolis. ¿Y cómo llegué? How did I arrive? ¿Qué manera de transportación yo usé? ¿Qué manera de transportación usé? Un autobús, muy bien. So I took a bus, and where did I leave from? Where did I go from? Desde Bloomington, muy bien. And then when I met up with my sister, we did something, right? Where did we visit together? Visitamos el zoológico, muy bien. And why did we go? What did we do there? Yeah, we're gonna look at all the animals, right? What two animals did I see specifically? Un tigre y un mono. Muy bien. So those were also my favorite. Pero después regresaron a la casa. So we returned to the house for dinner, right? But antes de salir, yo vi a Pumpkin, el gato de mi hermana. ¿Quién es Pumpkin?
Is that a cat's name?
Yeah, Pumpkin. It's a cat's name, right?
I thought it was.
So I saw Pumpkin, right? Vi a Pumpkin, el gato de mi hermana. And then, ¿cómo me fue? How was it for me? How did it go for me? Me fue muy bien, right? So went very well. The trip went very well. So in those boxes, we could have had me in a bus. You could have put us at a zoo. Anything to kind of capture that last, the most interesting things. Está bien. So we've highlighted a few different of these personal honors throughout. We're going to get into those. Yes. Yes. Because we're going to review some direct objects. Do you guys remember these from last chapter? Okay, cool. Well, that's all right. Then we've got a review, so this is perfect for us. So we're talking about what the direct object is in these sentences. So, ella toca la mesa. Tocar, ¿qué significa? ¿Qué significa tocar? To touch, right? Ella toca la mesa. Yo toco la mesa. So our direct object is la mesa. What's happening to the mesa? It's being touched. It's the receiver. It's the recipient of the action, right? So we're doing that to this. So we can also replace those with pronouns, right? So instead of she touches the desk, she touches it, right? So what would our pronoun be? Do you guys remember? Do you remember our direct object pronouns we can replace them with? Replace them with lo and la, right? Ella la toca, right? She touches it. So yo pongo el jamón en la mesa. So what am I doing now? Yo pongo el jamón en la mesa. So yo pongo, so I'm doing something. Yo el verbo es poner. So yo pongo el café en la mesa. Yeah, to put or to place, right? Poner. So what's our direct object here? El jamón, muy bien. And so if it's masculine, which one are we going to want to use? Lo or la? Lo, muy bien. Because the recipient of the action, the thing that is having the action done to it is the ham, right? I'm placing the ham, or I'm placing the coffee. So, tú viste, you saw, right? Tú viste los tigres. What did you see? ¿Qué viste? You saw them, the tigers, right? Muy bien. We would use los, right? Tú los viste. You, them, you saw, right? Nosotros visitamos las ciudades. So what are we visiting? Las ciudades. Remember, hablamos de Indianapolis, de Bloomington. Cities, muy bien. So, las ciudades, that's what we're visiting. That's receiving the action, right? So, nosotros las visitamos. So we've got a direct object. Who can tell me how do we know what a direct object is, Carlos? What is it? It's like like what the action does to something, right? So say this cup of coffee, I put the coffee on the table. Coffee is having the action done to it. This is the direct object, right? You saw the tigers. Tigers are being seen. They're the direct object. They're the verb is happening to them, right? So we have a couple other ones. Senor Williams visitó a su hermana. So this is what we're highlighting. This is what we're focusing on today. If you guys want to go ahead and pull up a grammar sheet, that would be great. Go ahead and make a grammar document. Get that up. And so the only difference here right now is we all of a sudden have this A here. So the A can be a little bit tricky. In most circumstances, we've learned it as like to or at, right? I go to the city, or I'm looking at the person, right? But in this circumstance, it doesn't mean to or at. It's there as something different, and it gives the sentence a certain kind of connotation now. And it's the way that we're going to understand the sentence is now different because of this A being here. And so, Senor Williams visitó a su hermana. What's our direct object here? Who is being visited? Their sister, right? A su hermana. So we would still replace with same pronoun. Una hermana, would it be lo or la? La, right? We would put the pronoun la here. But we have that A there. And that A gives it a certain kind of meaning now. So antes de salir, Senor Williams vio a pumpkin. So our direct object is pumpkin. Es un gato. So we'll go ahead and go forward. We've got la, but she is a female pumpkin, la vio. But that A is there. If we go back real quick, ella toca la mesa. Yo pongo el jamón en la mesa. Tú viste los tigres. Nosotros visitamos las ciudades. So there's no A in any of these. But when we go forward, there are. So let's go ahead and make a hypothesis. Let's hazard a guess together. What do you think this A is here for? What's different about these sentences than the first ones? And it's like totally okay to be wrong here. Like we're like just making a guess to see how close we can get to the real definition of what this A could be, what it could mean, how it changes the sentence. So let's look at the top one. Senor Williams visitó a su hermana. So what's our direct object here? We said it once, right? What's the direct object? The sister, right? La hermana. How is that different than any of the ones that we looked at before, right? I place something on the table. I go to the city.
It's a living thing.
It is a living thing, yeah. So we have a living thing, right? We have a person here. We also have antes de salir, Senor Williams vio a pumpkin. So maybe we're using the A with living things. Is that a bit of a guess? Is there anything that we could build on that? Anything more specific we want to get into?
They're both feminine.
They are both feminine. They're both feminine. Muy bien, gracias, Mia. So we'll move forward here real quick. So ella toca la mesa. Ellos visitaron la ciudad. But Senor Williams visitó a su hermana. So we're using the feminine here, so I think we can cross that out. But your living thing is maybe still holds some water, right? So what's mesa? It's just that table, right? Ciudad? City, right? So neither of those things are living. Those things aren't living. So maybe we use the A with living things? Kind of, sort of? Okay. So then now we'll pull some more examples from that story that we talked about. So ella vio, what did she see?
Tiger.
She saw a tiger and he saw a monkey. So our direct objects, we have two of them, right? She saw a tiger. He saw a monkey, right? Those are our direct objects. But over here, antes de salir, Señor Williams vio a pumpkin, el gato de su hermano. So we use an A here, and they're both living things. But there's something different. There's something deeper here that we can look at with this A. So they're both living. We'll want to use it with pumpkin. So now let's start talking about that. Why do you think we're using the A with pumpkin specifically rather than with the other animals? ¿Qué es la diferencia? It is a specific animal. We could also say this is the specific tiger at the zoo. How often do you think we see that tiger at the zoo? Like once. How often do you think we see pumpkin? Or your own pet? Like pretty often. So yeah, so it's familiar pets, right? So this ah is called the personal ah. And this shows that you are personally like acquainted with these things. And so you use it with anything living, people or animals. But we draw that difference here. That personal awe is going to show that you are familiar with that creature or that person. And so I'm certainly not familiar with the tiger at the Indianapolis Zoo by any means. That is not my pet. I'm not like, the Tiger King by any means. I don't have that like living in my basement. But I see Pumpkin often enough that I'm pretty familiar with this little cat, right? And I promise that Pumpkin is also not a 300-pound tiger by any means. It's a tiny little house cat. But I'm familiar enough that I can show that by using this personal awe. Make sense? See? So where else do we use it in the sentence? Do you guys remember? Were there any other in the stories? Any other moments in the story? So we know that it makes the personal awe. So what two things can we use this with? What kind of nouns? People and animals, right? People and things that are living. And we make it personal by how familiar we are with it, right? So how often we're going to see these things. So if it's your pet, if it's your indoor cat, if it's your dog at your grandparents' house that you always see every weekend, and we'll say yes. Vio el perro de mi abuelo, right? I saw right? Al perro de mi abuelo. But if it's just like some dog down the street, we're not familiar with that. We don't know that, so we can show that difference in our relationship with them just by including the or not. So I'm going to pull up something. Had a little bit of technical difficulties. I'm going to pull it over here. Yes. And so I want you guys to go ahead and pull up a new doc. I would have shared this with you, but I cannot access Canvas right now. So I want you to pull up a Google Doc, make it blank, and then go ahead and create this box. And so now it's going to be your turn to write a story. And so we're going to do a Spanish activity over this tomorrow, but this is our prep work for it today. We're going to spend the rest of the class working on this. And so we're going to type our own parts of this story in the box. And so try to keep it within the confines, use as many of the vocab words, right, about our trips and things that we can do. And and we're gonna make sure that our answers are 100% Spanish. Make sure that they're like full, complete sentences. If you need to pull from Translate, that's okay. Like once per box. But make sure that you are like prepped and that these are full sentences. It'll really help you in Spanish time activity tomorrow. But we're talking about a trip and something that you have gone and done or people that you've visited. And so each of these is going to kind of help you think through that in Spanish as we go talking about that trip. So our first box, right? ¿A dónde fuiste? ¿A dónde fuiste? So ¿a dónde is a question word. ¿A dónde fuiste? Where did you go, right? So ¿a dónde fuiste? So where did you go? So in my story, if you ask me, ¿a dónde fuiste? I would say, yo fui al zoológico en Indianapolis, right? I went to the zoo in Indianapolis. So, ¿qué modo de transporte usaste para llegar? It's a long question, but ¿qué modo de transporte? ¿Qué modo de transporte? ¿Qué significa? Yeah, did you use in order to arrive, right? So, yo usé un autobús para llegar, right? So I use an autobús. ¿A quién visitaste? So there's that personal "a" in the question form. ¿A quién? We're assuming that you know them. ¿A quién visitaste? So who did you visit? Who did you visit? Who did you see when you were there? ¿Qué hiciste? What did you do? And then ¿cómo te fue? Right? How was it? How'd it go? So those are our words. I can make this larger really quick for you guys.
This is already on campus.
Is it on Canvas? Wow. It's like 2 weeks since I did this. Is it
Yeah.
on Canvas?
Yeah.
Shoot. Guys, please hit this on Canvas. Make your own copy of it. You don't have to copy it down. I apologize. I did that like literally 2 weeks ago. So
It's under week 6.
it's probably very much in the wrong place now that we're like 2 weeks past when I had made this. Thank you so much. Nice. So yes, it's on week 6. You can find it in there. Go ahead and just make a copy of it, and then you can fill this in. You have all your directions, and then we'll hit the Spanish time part tomorrow. But thank you so much. That makes my life so much easier. Go ahead and we will fill these out for the rest of the class. I'm going to kind of circulate around, check in on you guys, and see how you're doing with the story that you're going to write. Does that sound good? ¿Entiendes? ¿Preguntas? Muy bien. Ok, vamos.
Your first name is Matthew?
Mhm.
No, I just saw on the thing. Hey, you're Lauer. Same name.
Sí, sí. Es un nombre común, right? It's a common name. Especially when you pair it with Williams. There's like 90 of us everywhere.
Like I put Midterm. Never met anyone. He also knows you. Never met anyone.
I think Brown County has a Matt Williams that is their Spanish teacher as well, which is hilarious.
Is he not working at Brown
Mm-mm.
Wait, does he have to be real?
No. Puede ser. Puedes usar tu imaginación, right? You can use your imagination. Huh?
Can it be real?
Absolutely, yeah. Either way.
No.
I feel like completely.
Yeah, but if you're gonna make it up, try to stick with the vocab, right? So maybe you're like, I went to an amusement park and the whole thing fell apart or something. I don't know. Right? Because un parque de diversiones is part of our vocab, but you can make it more interesting.
Okay. I think so.
Visité a mis abuelos y fue aburrido. Like that's boring. Nobody wants that.
Where did I go?
So Mia, ¿a dónde fuiste?
Where did I go?
Yeah. Fuiste a Portland, Oregon para visitar a tu tía, ¿right? Bien, muy bien. Abigail, ¿a dónde fuiste? Pues sí, por favor. A la playa, muy bien. ¿A quién visitaste en la playa? Tu amigo Olivia, qué bien, qué bien. La playa de Indiana, una playa de Florida. De Florida, muy bien. Entonces, ¿Olivia vive en Florida o no? Okay.
I went to California.
Qué bien, fuiste con su familia a la playa, qué bien. Muy bien.
2019 fall break. He went with the parents. It was so It was fun though. Besides, we have one person that was very important. Anyway, it was me, Chloe Brewer, Caitlin Brewer, Jana Hansen, Haley Gatliff, Natalie Calvert, and for like half of it, we
Qual ride? What you call
I don't know what it was. I do, but I don't.
So I just was asking.
Writing consequences.
Wedding.
I'm actually not putting this. I'm putting
Oh,
Mexico.
sí. Viper solo tiene esa cosa
I love
en
going on vacation, but I hate leaving my house.
isla.
Yeah.
No,
My
no.
parents are cool about it because
Me
we're going
encanta
to Mexico.
Creo que es mi ride favorito.
Mexico's fun. Besides when people walk up to you and put bracelets on you. I'm still
I
scarred
think
for life.
being on the outside of the curve, being on the upside down, rather than looking at the ground, looking at the sky, it's wild.
Like
Wild.
New York.
¿Dónde no le fuiste?
Yeah.
¿A Florida?
I've been to New York, but like, it's in Denver. Not actually. But it's when
Cuando? Oh, don't think of a post like that. Cuando es Florida? Cuando fuiste a Florida?
Here it is.
When did you go? Por supuesto, por supuesto. Vas a ir a
Oh,
Florida.
wow.
Yeah. Nice, nice, nice. ¿Qué vas a hacer? ¿Sí?
so be like, yo,
Yeah, what are you going to do? ¿Qué vas a hacer? Muy bien, muy bien. ¿Tu tía vive en Florida? Okay.
where should I get my
Kenji, welcome back. It's been a while. Pero sí, sí. ¿A dónde fuiste?
The Bahamas.
Fuiste a California. Qué bien. ¿Y a quién visitaste en California?
He and visit Pasta. Who did you visit? Yeah, we visited
Qué
Noble.
bien. Una tía y un tío. Qué bien. ¿Dónde vive? En California. Sí. No, no es el parque de diversiones en Santa Mónica. Sí, como Boardwalk. Oh, in Disneyland. Qué interesante. I've never been able to go to Disneyland. That's super fun though. I asked Elijah this about Kings Island, but ¿qué ride has tu favorito en Disneyland?
She's like, I'm asking Taylor a question. Like, I'm pretty sure everyone knows.
I didn't. It was annoying. I mean, I heard her voice, but I didn't know her voice.
Oh, I got it like this form.
You visited once.
Because I didn't know like
Sí.
can't even skip like the fines
Sí.
and stuff.
Sí.
Mine was not for that. I feel like he's
¿A dónde fuiste?
tractor trailers and how much they and how it came. And I'm like,
Fui a San
I don't
Bastille,
drive.
Ohio.
I don't
Ok.
know.
Para
I don't drive.
visitar Singapur. Oh, qué
Yeah, it's like
interesante.
it's common sense.
Y visitar aquí. ¿Qué ride es tu favorito en San Bastille?
Okay, what's a tractor trailer?
The Raptor? Ok, perfecto, perfecto. Ah, no he ido. I haven't gone a San Bastille. No he visitado a Singapur, pero yo quiero ir. Sí, I want to go. Yeah, I'm excited. I want to go.
Like a week. Well, for me, it's like a weekend.
Ooh, I don't have any more coffee. Emily, ¿a dónde fuiste?
How would you say Bahamas? Like if I to make it up, would it just be Bahamas?
Yeah, fui a las Bahamas. Sí.
If we didn't visit anyone, do we just wait? Does that say who did you visit or what did you visit?
It says a quién, so who. A
Well, what
quién.
if we didn't visit anyone?
And you can say, I didn't visit anybody. No visité a nadie.
How many things do we have to say that we did?
It could just be one.
So
Did
that,
you say you went to the beach?
I haven't checked the email, but across the board, they decided
Huh?
we have so
It was
many. They're going to
freezing.
move that back.
Oh,
to
no.
certain
And
dates
it
where
was
all teachers
July.
is gonna be- Don't worry about all the due dates that I put in there originally, those are all going to be changed. I think it's like the end of this week. And that way,
I guess two months, but I'm not. I can't.
¿Cuál playa visitaste?
It was just I don't know. Just a beach.
¿Dónde estuvo? ¿Sí? ¿Dónde estuvo la playa? Where was the beach?
It was like
Una playa en Florida, en South Carolina.
it was in Oregon.
Oh, sí, sí. Una playa en Oregon.
Not nice.
No,
It's pretty, but
hacía frío, right? Yeah, hacía frío. Entonces no,
so what did you
no
do?
pudiste, sí, no pudiste tomar el sol.
Get it?
No puedes.
Guys, it's L F E.
Pues puedes decir, yo vi un
Un
whale, no sé la palabra para whale, pero estoy seguro que puedes encontrarlo.
Yes. C.
¿A dónde fuiste?
Tennessee.
Fuiste a Tennessee. ¿Qué hiciste en Tennessee?
I did a lot.
Pues puedes caminar.
I got braces put on me. Literally just scarred me for life, probably.
Actually, I told my dad that I was
¿Qué
insane.
hiciste?
I said, I'm insane.
Pues a
I
dónde
hate
fuiste?
being
Ya,
around
sí, me pregunté.
Like, I don't care to
Yeah,
stay
I
in
don't think we
my
say.
pumpkin, but like a week is pushing it, stay in the spring, and like we're in the same state.
Yeah, where did you go?
Same town.
¿Fuiste a Florida? ¿Qué hiciste en Florida? ¿Fuiste a Panamá? Sí. Okay, es una ciudad en Florida, ¿sí? Panamá.
Let me go
Okay.
look at it.
No es el país de Panamá, no. You didn't go to the country Panama, right? You just went to the city, Panama. Sí. Panama? Yeah, sí. Es un país en Latinoamérica, right? Connects Central America to South America. Yeah. Está bien. ¿Qué hiciste? Pues, ¿a dónde fuiste? ¿Fuiste a Cuba? Qué interesante. ¿Qué hiciste en Cuba? Sí, no, no, no. ¿Qué hiciste?
I just, one sec.
Está bien.
One sec. I think I spelled one wrong.
No, it's not, if you pronounce it wrong, no te preocupes. Don't worry.
Visitar a la familia.
¿Visitaste a la familia? ¿Tienes familia en Cuba?
Sí.
Sí, qué interesante.
Oh.
Thank you for asking the next question I was going to also ask. I was like, is this real? ¿Quién de tu familia vive en Cuba? Who of your family? ¿Quién en tu familia?
I don't know. It's like,
Como primos y prima, like cousins or aunts and uncles or kind of? Sí. It's like a shoestring, twice removed, third cousin or something. Yeah. All right, classes, we're going to get out of here in a couple of minutes. So as you're wrapping this up, or as you're still working on it, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about the Spanish time that we're going to do tomorrow so that we can jump into it. We're going to basically pair up like kind of where we are. We're going to try to stay as close as possible. And then we're going to ask our partners about the trip that they went on. So we're going to ask them very similar questions to what the prompt was. ¿A dónde fuiste? ¿Qué modo de transporte usaste? Various questions like that, right? Who'd you visit? What'd you do? And we're going to respond to those. And we're going to be able to tell our stories about that. Clase. Atención, por favor. Un minuto más, por favor. And then we'll swap and we'll ask a different set of partners about your round one partners. So if Mia and Kaylin are working together, they find out about each other's trips, and then Mia and Abigail will be round two partners. Now Abigail wants to know, what did Kaylin do for her trip? Because Mia has already interviewed her, Mia can tell Abigail everything she wants to know about Kaylin's trip. So we'll just be writing it down on this sheet as well. And so you can use that info. It's very similar to how you've written your story already. So the prompts and the dialogue questions are pretty much the same. So for tomorrow, go ahead and make sure that you have this all the way filled out. You know what you did, who you saw, how you got there, and all that information about the trip so that you can share it during a Spanish time activity tomorrow. We'll be able to use this as well as your kind of scaffolded sheet. So, gracias. Hasta mañana.